Hey Templars, Zach here with the one, the only, the HirumaredX. We're just gonna call you Hiru. How are you today,
Good
sir?
enough. I'm doing wonderful, even though I just woke up.
Well, you've been up for like an hour at this point. We've been like shooting the shit.
Yeah, I guess it has been like an hour. It's actually been like 2 hours.
What's time but a relative measure of
It
events?
feels like I just woke up.
You sounds like you need coffee, my friend,
Yeah, coffee sounds good.
doesn't it? So why your fans are obviously gonna know who you are, but for those of people just stumbling through this video, give us just a quick overview of who you are and what your channel is about, or channels, as we've discussed.
For channels, let's see. I have a World of Warcraft channel, mainly about fun facts in World of Warcraft. My most popular are definitely the top 10s. But I also have a weekly show where I talk about the news from the past week that doesn't do very well, but the people who do watch it seem to like it well enough. I hope. And then I also have a second Yu-Gi-Oh channel, but that's probably not what I'm here for.
I mean, it's still fascinating. So why do you have so many different channels?
Because when I first started YouTube, I just did everything on my main channel because I was just making videos for fun. And then eventually I figured out people would watch certain videos and completely ignore the other ones because it made sense. People would probably be there to watch the WoW videos I had, and there are people there who would be watching the Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and there was no overlap. So I was like, might as well just branch that off into its own channel. Because my WoW stuff was more popular, I branched off the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff to its own channel. So if it had been the other way around, I probably could have... Well, this channel probably would have been a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and I would have branched off my WoW stuff to something else. That probably would have been a better idea, because then I could have given it a better name than HirumaredX, which is just garbage.
So if you could rebrand in your entirety for the WoW channel, what would you call yourself? You must have thought about this at some point.
If I was going to rebrand, it'd have to be something like gimmicky and memorable, not something super serious. So like the best Warcraft top 10s or something like that.
So how would you
Those are the best
introduce
kinds of names.
those are? I think we've all subscribed to like top 10s or top 15s. So what would you call yourself if you weren't Hiru in that top 10 best World of Warcraft videos?
Oh, that's true. My Yu-Gi-Oh channel, they just call me the Duologs. That's the name of the channel. Yeah, there's no really shortened abbreviation of that. In fact, they just call me Hero because a lot of them know about my WoW channel. I don't know. I think it'd probably still be Hero. I've just been called that for so long now. Even if I don't really like the name, I'm used to it. I'd have to probably like my pet battle channel, which is Heroes Pet Battles, something like that maybe.
So, speaking of your pet battle channel, obviously pet battles, very World of Warcraft thing. Why is it separate from your World of Warcraft main channel?
Oh my god.
I told you I was going to ask about this. Feel free to rant.
Should I even begin with this talk?
All right.
You see,
I'm going to trigger half the people, and then we can branch off from there. Why is it not like Pokemon?
Okay, so let me answer your first question first, and then I'll go into that. You see, just like with my Yu-Gi-Oh channel, I noticed there were people who wanted more pet battle stuff, and there was also lots of people who didn't want to see them at all in their sub boxes. And pet battle videos aren't very hard to make, so I could have theoretically made a video every day, but I know that would make a lot of my current subscribers mad. So it's like, if I just branch it off into its own channel, I can upload daily. And so that's what I did. And that pet battle channel is... Well, I mean, I don't really do much on it right now, because I should call it for so many reasons. But that's why I moved it over. Same reason my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Even if it is in WoW, there's a lot of people in WoW that don't like pet battles. And that kind of goes over into your next question. It's like, why isn't pet battles Pokemon?
Oh man, you can hear the sighs and just the frustration of that question seeping through.
You see, the thing is, it's very similar to Pokemon. But people will use the fact that it's basically just Pokemon as like a negative indicator. It's like, oh, that's basically just Pokemon in WoW. And it's like, yeah. And how is that a bad thing? It's like, what's wrong with a mini game inside of a video game? It's like, I don't know about you guys, but I love mini games inside games. Kind of like in the Animal Crossing games, you could play like old school Mario or Pac-Man inside like the video game arcades. And it's like, oh, great. A MMO with its own little mini game inside of it that actually allows you to go out into the world and participate.
That's
But
like
it's like Pokemon. And it's like, yes, it is. And it's like, and that's why I don't do it. It's like, how is that a bad thing though? Do you not like Pokemon? I mean, that's fine if you don't. But Pokemon is like, to my knowledge, one of the most successful video game franchises in the world.
oh, for sure.
And it's like, how?
And I know it's not the only mini game that's inspired from something else, because obviously in Hillsbrad we have Plants vs. Zombies, which, if I recall correctly, people were super stoked for when it came out.
Oh yeah, that little quest is fun. I had to do it recently for a video I was making, actually a couple months ago. I was like, oh, this is really true to the game. Too bad it's just for this one quest and not an actual like full mini game like the pet battle system.
See, I thought you could like go back to it, but that's not the case.
It is a daily quest, but like, who's gonna go over there and do it all the time unless there's some kind of incentive? Like with pet battles, they release new content for it, and there's the whole collection factor to it. So it's a big part of the game, even if it is just a side thing you can do.
So what's your favorite battle pet? Out of like pure favoritism, doesn't matter about the stats, doesn't matter about anything, personal preference.
Oh, probably the Elec plushie,
Why?
because it doesn't have any damaging moves.
It's
I don't know
just
if
a
you know
pacifist.
about it. Yeah, I don't know if you know about the Elec plushie, but it is the only pet in the game that is a battle pet that can't attack. But it does have moves that are basically just fluff. And it's part of an achievement where you try to win a whole bunch of pet battles with it on your team, which is supposed to be hard because it can't attack. But it does have the highest amount of health out of any pet in the game. And it is the only pet in the game with a free swap ability. So I've actually developed teams around those two features, and they're like some of my best teams I've ever made. And it's so funny to win with the Elec plushie. To the point, like, when we were doing pet battle tournaments, they'd always ban the plushie. It's like, you can't have the plushie. He's too good in some very specific teams, and we'd never be able to win against it.
So it's very situational, but when he's good, he's the best.
Yeah, you have to build the team around it. But if you do build the team around it, it is a really, like, top-tier team.
So, getting back to World of Warcraft in general, not just pet battles. As much as I know you love talking about it, and we could do it for hours.
I could talk forever about pet battles.
What would you say your overall favorite part of World of Warcraft is? Be it features, story, quests, what have you. What's your favorite part of World of Warcraft and why?
Oh, I've never actually thought of that before. Probably leveling.
Did
Or
you?
it used to be.
Did you? Oh, I was just about to ask. Do you like the new leveling or the old leveling better?
Progressing through the game. I like the little hits of dopamine you get whenever you get a little achievement. Like whenever you get a new level and you can learn a new ability, or a new level to your artifact system, or a new tier piece to finally get your 4 set and you get like a new ability. Those are the kinds of things I like about the game. So it's not really concentrated into one area, but it is like a feature of RPG-like games.
And you actually do play a fair amount of World of Warcraft when you're not making content for it, right?
Wait, what'd you say? Kind of cut out a little bit.
I hate this microphone sometimes. So you do play a fair amount of World of Warcraft when you're not making content, right?
Yep. I try not to, though.
So that's actually kind of unusual because most of the people I interview who make content for World of Warcraft just make videos about it because they don't have time to do anything else. So
Yeah, because videos take so long to make.
they do. We were just talking about video editing by itself, not to mention creating the damn thumbnail.
Oh man, thumbnails are the most important part of your video.
Oh yeah, and we could go on forever about, how to make a YouTube video. In fact, let's go about that. So, what would you say to all the aspiring YouTubers out there? Not World of Warcraft specifically, just tips and tricks you've learned for those people just starting out.
Oh man, I was thinking about making a video about this actually. Let me bring up my notes on that. But I think one of the biggest things is make sure you save for taxes. Because when you're self-employed, you have to pay your own taxes.
That makes sense, and that I don't think that's something a lot of people think about.
Yeah, I don't think that's something people will have to ever think about. But it's if you're gonna take it serious and you're making real money from YouTube, make sure you save money for taxes. Let me look for this thing real quick.
Taxes are important, kids. Don't defraud Uncle Sam. He will find you, and he will take money.
That reminds me, I still need to apply for my taxes. I need to talk to my sister about that. She's an accountant, so she just does it all for me.
Oh, so you got the connections.
Oh yeah. Oh man, this is a lot of stuff. So I have this video right here called How I Make Videos. And it's pretty long. And it's mainly tips about how to make top 10s.
Because, let's face it, folks, top 10s bring in the views.
Oh god, I could make so much money, get so many more subs and views if I just did nothing but top 10s. But I don't, so I don't like to think about things that I could do that I don't do.
No, I hear you. It just kind of takes up that mental energy that could be spent better going forward with the content you do create.
Yeah. So let's see, some of the points I have from here, these are just things I do. So I'm looking at these things and I know other YouTubers do these, but these are just tips that I personally follow. So one of them is, I assume each video is the first video people have seen on my channel. So to this end, I don't include inside jokes, references to other videos without explaining them. And I say only I do this because, off the top of my head, I know Taliesin and Evanhill. Their channel basically lives on inside jokes and references to their other videos.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that shit show gag?
Yeah, exactly. So when I do my videos, though, I specifically try to avoid those things. That way, it'll encourage them to binge watch more videos. Because I just assume every video I make is the first video someone has seen of mine on the channel.
I think Nobble follows that route too, because he'll constantly he'll constantly go over a lore event, give the background information.
Yeah,
even if he already did a video on the background information.
Yeah, I never thought of it. Yeah, he probably does follow that same philosophy then, because I do that too. Let's see, this next one. Make intros as short and to the point as possible.
Hi. Hey.
Hello everyone.
I'm Hazel. I'm Mr. GM.
My name is Dina Plays.
You're listening to and you're watching.
This is
The Nerds Templar. The Nerds Templar.
The Nerds Templar.
I also put the most amount of effort into the intros visually, even if I'm just basically giving an overview of what the video will be about. And I choose not to use traditional intros, like playing a little jingle or a little opening theme. It just distracts from trying to get the viewer to watch the whole thing. And this reminds me of a lot of newer YouTubers will have really long intros. Or, really loud dubstep. Because I was watching a whole bunch of videos from this guy because I got really addicted to this new mobile game. And his videos were really good, but he had a really obnoxious dubstep intro. Like, I don't have anything against dubstep itself, but man, is that like the worst thing you can have in an intro. Especially if it's super loud and way higher volume than your voice in the videos. Like, I don't have anything against dubstep. I actually kind of like some of it. But I don't think it's a good place for intros. It also reminds me, there's a mistake a lot of newer machinima channels do. Do you know about, like, well, yeah, you watch YouTube videos. You know what machinimas are, right?
Oh yes. I'm actually doing a roundtable discussion with a few machinima makers.
Oh, that's great. But anyways, there are these things called establishing shots in like film, where if someone's going to talk in a new location, say they're in a coffee house talking to someone, and in the next instance they're going to talk to someone in a hospital. So you would do an establishing shot. You'd show a picture of the hospital from outside, maybe inside the hallway, and then you'd show them talking in the room. So when I see a lot of newer WoW machinima YouTubers do, because they're probably doing film for the first time, is they'll have incredibly long establishing shots. And I remember I watched one recently where a guy had 2 minutes full on of just establishing shots before the first words of dialogue were spoken. And I was like, oh my god. Okay.
Was it one of those like machinima movies that last like 2 hours, or was it like a 20-minute
No, it was a 10-minute video. So that means 20% of the video was establishing shots in the beginning. But that wasn't it. There was way more than that. And I see these on small videos too. Like, I can understand incredibly long intro establishing shots for, you know, like a really long movie. I wouldn't recommend it on a YouTube video, because the beginning of the video is the most important part. If you have too many establishing shots, people are just going to click away. But 2 minutes of establishing shots is like an eternity, when you should have less than 5 seconds at most.
Especially in World of Warcraft, where most people already know the zones.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it actually just kind of makes me laugh now. I think it's super funny, and I look out for it because it's so prevalent.
I mean, the only...
I was like, oh man, that was a long establishing shot. That's hilarious.
The only zone I could picture looking at for 2 minutes and not being bored is probably Mulgore, because that's my favorite zone.
Mulgore is my favorite zone too. Yeah, I could probably be the same way about that.
It's just so pretty. We need more Mulgore. Hashtag more Mulgore.
Yeah, if I didn't start playing in Mulgore, I don't know if I'd continue playing WoW. Because when I first started playing, I used to play like browser-based MMOs. And they would always bad talk WoW like crazy.
Oh yeah.
That was the big online MMO. So I had a very negative opinion of WoW when I first started playing. And luckily, I played a Tauren Hunter, and I loved Mulgore so much that I became obsessed with the game. And now I make my living making video top 10s about it.
It's just so refreshing to see a nice, green, unchaotic zone.
Yeah, that is my favorite landscape. It's just a wide open grass plains. And that's exactly what Mulgore was. I think I just got lucky that I picked that. So I was like, oh, he's like a bull person. That's cool.
He's a cow.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Tauren are my favorite race. I was so happy when we got High Mountain Tauren.
Oh, I still didn't make one of those. My favorite now are just Blood Elves. They're fun to dress up.
That's true. They do look the most like appealing out of anything in Transmog.
Yeah, I think that's why they're the most popular race. Although now that Void Elves are in the game.
Hey man, spread the skeleton, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, half my tunes are undeads as well. It's all like undeads and Blood Elves.
I despise the undead, like in Transmog. I just wish
Yeah,
you
they
could
don't
like
look good in Transmog.
I just wish you could cover the bones.
Like, I really like the Transmog on my Undead Rogue. But then again, I think his class kind of plays really well to the Undead Transmog on him. Because everything just looks cool on him and dark.
And brooding.
Not so much on my Mage, who's also Undead.
No, I have a undead rogue, and I was role-playing him, and I just couldn't find, like, a suitable transmog.
Oh, I love the Transmog on my Undead Rogue.
You're gonna have to, give me some tips, then.
I just use the one Transmog.
Oh, fair enough.
I even, like, use them in videos sometimes. What you call it? Let's see. What is this? Oh man, there's so many things on here. I probably won't read them all. Let's go with this last one. Let's see. Outros are short and just wrap things up. Or to give info that I forgot or couldn't be placed in the original video. End screen is 11 seconds long. End screens are super important. Aren't super important, but they do help a little. And I also don't tell people to like and subscribe at the end of videos, but I should. It is proven to help. You will get more likes and subscribers if you tell people to like and subscribe, even if it's become like a meme and people don't like it. The reason everybody says it is because it works.
And before we move forward, if you like this video, comment, subscribe, hit that little notification bell. That's probably the most flawless segue into that.
Exactly.
So, stepping away from, how to be a YouTuber, we have two big things coming up for World of Warcraft. One's going to be about the future, and one's going to let us relive the past. Obviously talking about WoW Classic and Battle for Azeroth. So, which one are you more hyped up for?
Battle for Azeroth. That's going to come out sooner.
So
we have no idea when Classic's coming out.
So do you think them announcing WoW Classic without actually having any of the work done other than, yeah, we're doing it and we made this trailer that's just cinematics being played in reverse? Do you think that was a mistake on their end? Because there's still so many people that want Classic that make content for it, but they just keep going, there's nothing to talk about.
I mean, there is stuff to talk about if you're a little bit more creative than that. But I don't really think it's a mistake, and I think it was a good move on their part. Like, hey, we're going to be making these Classic realms. Let's, tell them beforehand so there's no rumors about, and we can actually just work out in the open, recruiting people to help us work on it. It's just the Classic server community. Actually, I don't know. They seem really excited about it. I was going to say, like, oh, they don't have anything else to talk about. But no, I know some of them. They have no problems making videos. I can only think of one person who is mad about it, but we don't talk about him.
Nah, he crazy.
Hey, don't give too many indicators about who it is.
Hey man, we're all crazy in one way or another. What
true.
I'm personally crazy for is upright orcs. Even though I don't play an orc. I don't know. I just want Wargaming goblin models to get updated. That's what I'm excited for most right now. Although
They look fine to me, though. I don't really get what that's about either.
I think people just want to look like the OG good boy Greymane and just have the high res.
Like, my main, I transferred it over from a Tauren to a Goblin a long time ago. I've never had a problem with the Goblin models even today. And even like my only max level Alliance character is a Worgen. I play on him a lot, so it's like, I don't see what the problem with this model is either.
So I don't think the models are bad. I just hate that every time I cast a spell as like a druid, I turn into a giant wolf and my transmog looks wonky.
You can't do anything without being a wolf, though.
I know. Well, you can RP walk. That's about it.
I mean, yeah, I guess you can turn into a human, but why would you want to? And I don't think them updating the models would do anything about that. You'd still be a Worgen all the time.
Yeah. So what in Battle for Azeroth is getting you like most excited?
Oh, the new lore. Can't wait to see how the lore plays out with Sylvanas and the Alliance, and also the Old God stuff that they've been hinting at. It's like, sure, Blizzard, it's going to be a battle against Alliance and Horde. No Old God involvement at all. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, that first raid tier, and even the second one that they announced at BlizzCon, no connection to Old God whatsoever.
Yeah, no
smile, smile, wink, wink. Queen Ashara? Oh yeah, she works for the Legion, right?
No, she doesn't. She's an Old God.
I know. I was being facetious. No, I'm excited to get into the new zones. apparently they're massive, which is a really nice touch compared to Legion, which it was fine when you were walking everywhere, but once you had flight, you could just fly over like Valshara in 2 minutes.
Yeah, but by that point, I was already used to it. Didn't really care.
So do you have anything you want to plug? And then we can just move on to like shooting the breeze, letting people know random things.
To plug? Not really.
What, you don't want to plug
You
your
wanna
Twitter? You don't want to plug your YouTube? What?
Well, I don't really post on Twitter very much unless it's about videos. But I guess you want to follow my Twitter and you care about me personally. That's something you do, but if you did, you'd probably follow it anyway. Oh, I guess there's my YouTube channel too, if you like WoW videos. I hear Telios and Avatar are really good.
Yeah.
Also mine too, I guess.
I hear that Preach guy's pretty good.
Oh, did you see Preach's new series? The one where he's leveling
Oh, the Fresh?
the fresh warlock thing through Mythic Plus dungeons?
Yeah, but people found him out. They found him.
Well, I mean, yeah, they found him, they changed his name, and then they found him again. I wonder if he'll change his name again to keep it more anonymous. That series is interesting.
It really is. I'm not big into like raiding or the end game. I just kind of like hopping in the LFR to look at the raids.
Yeah, like most people.
Yeah. I don't even try to get into like heroic runs unless I have 500k gold in my bag.
Dang.
But no, it's still, I never have 500k gold in my bag. So I've seen one heroic raid, and that's how I got the moose mount last X back.
Wait, did you pay for it?
Oh yeah, gold. You pay gold for those heroic carries? Oh yeah. It's the only way I can get in.
Yeah, I just do that with my guild.
Well, if you guys ever need 500k gold, I'm kidding. So, no, it definitely is interesting because he tries to debunk a lot of the excuses people come up with. Because I guess the big thing was everyone saying, oh, you need a guild to clear heroic and Taurus. I think that's why he started it.
Yeah, he did Hantoric and Taurus already, though, didn't he?
I think he did. He's done regular a bunch. He's got his Mythic 15 done. I'm not sure if he did heroic and Taurus yet. I'll admit,
I remember talking about Antaurus, but now that you mentioned not Mythic, heroic specifically, I was like, I don't know if he actually did heroic or not. Because what an interesting thing I found about that series was that a lot of the problems he had were just people not knowing the mechanics or the dungeons. And he's like, how can people be up to like, the 10 to 15 range of Mythic Plus dungeons and not know the basic boss mechanics? He said that was the biggest problem, because people get handed gear so much they don't need to learn them. They can just hop straight into the 10 to 15 range without learning the boss dungeons. Or, they probably did them on heroic, but since you can just blast through heroic and ignore mechanics, they didn't actually learn the mechanics. They just saw what the bosses look like, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that is an interesting thing. I never thought of it like that. But it's like, now that you've mentioned it, it does make a lot of sense. And that's why a lot of players seem bad, just because they don't know what they're doing. And also, just as a lot of players who don't know what they're doing and are just bad.
I will admit, I'm one of those players.
Yeah. He said he would go into the normal runs of Antaurus, and the guilds would get mad at him because he would out DPS the other warlocks who had better gear. He's like, instead of asking, what I was doing better than them, they instead just got mad and would make snarky remarks. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I know he was pugging a normal Taurus, and people just kept leaving after every boss kill. So he got kind of fed up, and he messaged a few of them like, hey, why'd you leave? We killed it in one go. And they're like, not enough DPS, man. And it's like, what? What?
Yeah, people don't know what they're talking about. That was also one of the things he talked about. Was a lot of people think they know what they're talking about because a lot of people say it, like, oh, we need more DPS for this, but they don't actually know how much DPS they need.
Yeah, people...
Or just lots of things like that. It's like, oh, you need this kind of gear score to do this. And it's like, why? It's like, well, because other people who do this ask for this gear score, so it must be correct.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the stuff people do see on YouTube when it comes to, like,
Yeah, they
Endgame.
just copy what everyone else is doing, but they don't actually know why they ask for those kinds of things.
Yeah, like I'm sure.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
I'm sure if Preach was like, you need 945 to do normal Antorus, that would instantly be what everyone wants.
Dang, that's like my item level.
I'm only like 937 on my druid.
On my priest, who's been farming, heroic Antorus for months now. And I even had a few pieces of Mythic Air, and mine's like 950.
Oh, it's just nuts. After this interview, I might go on the World of Warcraft and try to do normal Antorus.
Oh wait, I just remembered I have a lot of like really low item things equipped because of the set bonuses and their effects. So I guess my gear score isn't really as relevant to like a DPS who probably doesn't take lower gear score things for DPS boosts. I don't know. I guess they probably would as well.
That brings up an interesting point and a misconception, I think, is that a higher gear score instantly means that you're better.
Oh yeah, that's what Preach also talked about. He's like, it doesn't mean you're better, but even if you're bad, you'll still probably do more damage than other people who are bad with a lower gear score. So it's just like a insurance. It's like, you have such a high gear score, even if you're the worst player ever, you'll still do decent damage. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you can't blame him because of like all of the dungeons he's been doing. You'd eventually just want whoever has the highest gear score.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want to spend, way over the clock doing something that you should have on farm.
Yeah, so it's just assurance to pick the highest gear score thing. It's like, that makes sense. And it's like, oh, I'm also a healer, so I don't have to worry about any of this. Which is nice.
I've thought about getting into the healing game.
Healing is the hardest thing you can do in WoW.
Oh, you're the first to be blamed.
I guess that's true as well. If it's met like is
just
DPS
mechanically
is pretty easy. That's why everybody does that at first.
Yeah, because if you mess up, other people can carry you if you're a DPS.
Exactly. But with a healer, if you mess up, everybody's gonna know because they died. But sometimes people will just ignore mechanics and then they'll blame the healer anyway. Not that I really see that because I mainly do everything with my guild, but I've heard that to be the case.
So, what would you say your favorite raid in Legion has been?
Probably the Nighthold or Antorus. Those are both really good. I was thinking about making a video on like the top 10 best raids. And I had both Nighthold and Antorus on that list. And I was like, I don't know if I should have both of them or not, though.
Why not?
But the Nighthold was so good because when I make those kinds of lists, I like to diversify them based on expansions. Like, I can't just have, 5 raids from Vanilla WoW on the list.
So kind of
like 3 from Wrath. And they'd be like, oh, so this is the best vanilla dungeons. And I'll get a bunch of comments like that. So I try to diversify it based on expansions. Like, well, I already have one from vanilla. Let's try one from BC. And then once I have all the expansions covered, I'll go back to the ones and pick like the second best that I like.
Well, how many expansions are we at now? 6?
Oh, 7, I think. No, since we're in like patch 7, it's like 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't counting Battle for Azeroth just yet.
Well, yeah, not Battle for Azeroth. Just
so you can do 2 Legion ones. Just make sure you toss in 2 WoD ones too. I'm kidding.
Hey,
WoD has like 2. WoD had the best raids. I know. Okay, Blackrock Foundry.
Yeah, Blackrock Foundry. Blackrock Foundry will probably be like near the top. It's like number 1 or 2 material. It was so good.
Hey Templars, Zach here. If you're loving the video, then guess what? I love you. And I would love if you would take a moment, hit that subscribe button, because right now you're going to get way more videos just like this one, with just as high production quality, if not better as time moves on. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and let's get back to it. So, any other random topics we should be talking about? Can be anything A to Z. Who are your favorite WoW YouTubers?
My favorite WoW YouTubers?
To watch.
Oh. I'm trying to think. Probably. See, with WoW videos, since I make so many of them, I'll usually see topics that I've already covered or I'm researching. So it's like, I don't really need to watch this video right now. So I just put it in my watch later queue. And then I'll eventually watch it. But I'm trying to think, of the WoW YouTubers I've watched, basically all of them, which ones do I watch right away when the video comes out and I bypass the queue? Probably just Kakio, because his videos come out so infrequently. And he puts a lot of time and effort into them.
Get on it, Kakio.
And sometimes Crucial, because ever since he's gotten Grim to edit for him, they've been looking really nice. And it gives me a lot of good ideas. I've already started copying some of his editing techniques.
Oh, snap.
Because they're so good. And I need to steal Crucial's editor. He's really good.
Just offer to pay him $1 more.
And also Preach's new series. I've been watching that one ever since they come out. So whenever he has like that new Warlock series, I'll watch it right away. Or whenever he does his like legacy videos, I'll watch those right away.
I do love
But for the
those
most part,
legacies.
I don't really watch his videos. Because I don't really care about guides.
No, his audience, his videos in general are definitely for a very analytical audience.
Yeah, I don't really care about that kind of stuff. If I need a guide, I'll search it out. It's not really something I'll watch in the subscription feed. So like I may watch his videos if I need a guide, but only if I need a guide. I'm not just going to watch a guide just to watch a guide.
No, for sure. For sure.
Like same with like Beliar's videos. A lot of those are just guides or news on Battle for Azeroth. And it's like I read all the news because I have my own little news show, so I already know all this stuff. Also, if I need a guide, I'll use one of his because they're really good quality. But I won't watch them just to watch them.
Right. He does pump them out, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's because guide videos, the material is there for you. Doesn't really require too much creative research. But man, are they boring to make. Holy crap, I don't know how you can make so many of those in a row. He's a crazy man. Because I used to make guides, and it's like, I'm done. This is so boring. I can't do it. They get good views, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it sounds like, when you watch them, it just sounds like someone's kind of reading off a Wowhead article.
Like, they're boring to make, because you have to have, like, all the research on point. And then you have the normal editing stuff. And it's like, if you don't really care about what you're editing, it makes it even worse. And if you kind of like the video you're making, it's not so bad. Like, I can even sometimes have fun with editing if it's a video I really like.
Right.
But if it's a guide video, which I just don't care about, it just makes every part of that process so tedious. So at least there's someone out there who's able to do it and do it nonstop.
He's the hero that we all deserve. The Batman of Warcraft.
And then, what is it, Tellius and Avatel, they have neat little videos.
They do. I wish they would do 2 videos a week as opposed to just 1. But they
Do they only do 1 a week? I thought they did do like 2. They sometimes have sporadic uploads.
Yeah, so you have like your Taliesin talks, which are the sporadic ones, and then you have your weekly
those
resets.
are the ones I like. Weekly reset. Because the thing is, I already make a news channel, so it's not really in my top priority of things to watch.
Right, but the Taliesin talks are refreshing up to a point because they're not just,
Yeah, like some of the other things they do are things I really like. Plus, I watch pretty much all of Hazel's videos.
Oh, Hazel.
She always covers some weird shit. I mean, stuff.
Well, it's fine. M-rated. M for mature.
I need to censor my own talking. You don't want to get to YouTube demonetized because you said a curse word.
Oh, snap. I'm actually not even allowed to be monetized at this point,
Oh,
so I don't care.
Also, this other WoW YouTuber called Grimlaugh. He's like a really smaller WoW machinima YouTuber. And he also said recently that he's going to stop making them. But his were ones I really liked. I'd watch him as soon as they came up. It's too bad he's stopping.
It's
I
always...
can't really see it.
Oh, go ahead.
I can't really call any of them like my favorite. It was like, sure, I'll watch Kakia's videos as soon as they come up, but he's a friend of mine.
Oh,
with
so you had that bias.
Yeah, I have like a bias. I can't say he's my favorite. Although if I were to pick one, it would probably be Kakio. But he doesn't really make WoW videos anymore.
So if you like Kakio, you must love Warcraft Bible.
Obviously. Oh, the Warcraft Bible.
So
He's a pretty good example of how it's never too late to start making videos. Because within like 6 months of starting, he was already around like 80,000 subscribers before Kakio took him down. He had like millions of views.
Now you caught on to his whole rigmarole, right?
Yeah, because a lot of his videos were very similar to mine, just way more clickbaity. I was like, I'm not gonna say I don't use clickbait use clickbait. I absolutely do. It works, but I like to think you're getting what you expect with mine. I want the video to actually be of good quality. With Warcraft Bible, his were just clickbaity and very lazily edited together videos. But we did cover similar topics. And I research my topics. So I read a whole bunch of articles online and Reddit posts, forum posts, just a whole bunch of things. I can get a whole bunch of information from different sources. And then I noticed that one of the articles I was reading sounded similar. And I actually watch other YouTuber videos too if I'm covering a topic. That way I know not to copy them or to have similar things as them.
Right.
Or if there's too many similar things, I just won't make the video. Or if I think I can do it differently enough, I'll do it anyway. And I remember watching Warcraft Bible's video earlier while I was researching the video. I think it was like on rarest items or something. And then I went back to the article and I noticed that it was like a word for word reading. And then Kakio was part of the Skype group we were in at the time with other WoW YouTubers, and I posted it there because I knew they like to talk about the Warcraft Bible on there. And he's like, oh, wow. And so him and a couple of the people there went out and searched his other videos and basically just typed in the lines he was saying, and they found the articles associated to them. And then Kakio just basically went in and did it all himself and just put together the video. And he's like, and he also like showed us the video and showed us like screenshots of it. That way, you know, everything was perfect. We all helped him mold it a little bit. And then he made that video, and Warcraft Bible ended up deleting his channel because of it. And it was hilarious.
So while it may look like it was Kakio standing up to the man, it was really the WoW content creation community taking a stand, so to speak.
It was like 90% Kakio. I'm not going to discount his efforts. It's more like I just kind of noticed it, but someone else, I think Crucial also noticed it too around the same time, because he does the same thing. I'd assume he does the same kind of research. And then they all just went ham looking at all of his videos, seeing what he had copied.
Just jumping down the rabbit hole.
Heck yeah. That reminds me, there's another new YouTuber who does a whole bunch of really clickbaity things. I think I checked a couple of his videos and they're plagiarism free. So it's like, good for you. I don't care if you do like clickbaity crap, but just don't plagiarize.
Have it be your own clickbaity crap.
Yeah, have it be your own and clickbaity stuff.
So I think that's all we have time for today. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for the interview and having a chance to sit down.
Oh yeah, we've been talking for a while. I gotta get back to work after this.
Who needs work when we have friends?
My such difficult job of making clickbaity YouTube videos.
Top 10 clickbait titles. You'll never guess what number 4 is.
This sounds like a terrible video.
I'll give you a hint.
The best kinds of videos are ones that have mounts or vanilla WoW in it. Top 10 vanilla WoW mounts. That's a good video.
Oh man, I know what I'm doing. Just kidding. I've got a top 10 channel. But yeah, thank you again so much. Is there anything you want to say to your viewers before we head off in the paths unknown?
I can't really think of anything.
All right. So I'm going to end it there. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. And we'll be doing a giveaway very shortly.